in my spare time, I like to race cars. All the guys who show up to the track, they basically have the same politics. And the reason they have the same politics is because they live in a world where they have to prepare their car, then they have to go out and execute it, and they have to drive their car. And it's a real meritocracy because someone's going to get the checkered flag and someone's going to come in last. And they have a sort of collective mindset, just like, most people who run a small business have a sort of mindset. They want less regulation and lower taxes and breaks, and they tend to be Republicans. So what are we finding on school campuses? Well, school, who is attracted to be a professor? Who's attracted to be a school teacher? It really is a little slice of socialism here in the United States. We're basically saying you get a job, you don't get paid that much, but you can never get fired. You'll get tenure. It'll be an easy life. You'll never really have to hang your neck out or your shingle out. There's no chance you're going to go bankrupt. There's no chance you're going to be at the top, and there's no chance you're going to be at the bottom. You'll just sort of have a job forever. So those are the people who are attracted to the profession. Nobody I know who's an entrepreneur is attracted to be a school teacher. Maybe later on, after they've sold their third company and have, more money than they can count, they want to go back in and teach some business classes or something like that. But you're attracting people who have a little bit of a socialist bent or leaning just from the beginning versus folks who want to go into the military or folks who want to start their own small business. Now, how long would it take for those people to start indoctrinating your kids? I don't want to use a word that's that strong, but it's essentially getting them to sort of think the way you think. I use this example. What if all teachers were vegetarians? They said vegetarian. How long before your kid came home for Thanksgiving and said meat was murder? It would be impossible for them not to sort of have that through osmosis or beyond sort of push that agenda to your kids. So it's going to go this way. It has to go this way because the campuses are inhabited with people who naturally lean toward that and lean away from the entrepreneurial spirit. Then once the kids graduate, they end up at the New York Times, and now the New York Times is the New York Times. So this shall continue, in my opinion, because it's at its fiber, that's what it's based on.
Did you know that all success in life is based on conservative principles? Well, it's true. As I explain in my book, How to Be Right, The Art of Being Persuasively Correct, if liberals applied their no score, no winner, no loser belief systems to their hobbies or professions, they would fail miserably. Success relies on absolute truths, on supply and demand, on work and reward, on competition, and on achievement, not group identity. As the old saying goes, it doesn't matter if the cat is black or white, as long as it catches mice. Conservatives catch mice. Liberals buy them cheese with your money. It's interesting that people who participate in professions that require conservative values are so often on the left. Here are 3 examples you might not have thought of. Example 1, the musician. You'd think all of them are liberals in their personal lives, but only a few can actually afford to be. Smart musicians are often the most conservative people on the planet. Someone has to pay for the gas, the guitar strings, and the antibiotics. When you see your favorite metal band, you can bet that the whole tour is mapped out not as some hippy-dippy road trip, but as a meticulously planned endeavor to wring every penny of profit out of it. Maybe it's not surprising then that the most successful rock band in history is headed by someone who studied finance and accounting at the London School of Economics, Mick Jagger. And yes, it's true, satisfaction was about the joy of capital gains. Example 2, fitness. As a former editor of a health magazine, I can attest the government cannot give you six-pack abs unless you get them to pay for the implants. Exercise is perhaps the best example of conservative thinking at your disposal. For the amount of effort you put in, you reap the reward you deserve. If you pump iron for 2 hours, 3 times a week, Your body will change as a direct result. Fitness is one bank where you deposit effort and you build a portfolio of reward. There is no affirmative action in exercise. One muscle doesn't get special dispensation because it's smaller or weaker. There is no minimum wage safety net or unemployed bennies for your glutes. You're either in shape or you're not. No one is going to redistribute my awesome pecs. As President Barack Obama famously once said, "You didn't build that." Sorry, but I did. Example 3, cooking. There are boatloads of cooking shows these days, populated by spiky-haired women and tattooed love-patched beardos from Brooklyn. They all look so Occupy Wall Street, but when they enter the kitchen, they become the wolves of Wall Street. There are no feelings behind that butcher block. There's no room for, if it feels good, do it. Restaurants that require reservations weeks or months in advance got that way because of reliance on a diligent work ethic. Everybody involved, from the chef to the waitstaff to dishwashers, strive night in, night out to make great food and produce a great experience. You cannot reach that pinnacle without being intensely competitive and results-oriented. In other words, a capitalist. In the end, cooking is really just building a successful enterprise with food. And it must taste good, not fulfill a greater good. All success in life is based on conservative principles. Ponder that the next time you hear a great piece of music, hit the gym, or eat a tasty meal. If you do, you might realize you're not as liberal as you think. I'm Greg Gutfeld.